is Monday, April 27th, 2020. Hey, we are starting a new week, so we have our new spelling words to go over. Now, in the last few weeks, we have been working on spelling patterns, right, that are controlled. Okay, so the first one we worked on was the AR, right, as in arm, shark. Okay, that AR makes the R sound, right? Then last week we worked on the sound, okay, like in the word dirt, turn, or her, right? We learned that there were different spelling patterns on how to make the sound. Okay, we also learned that there's a few other words, few special words, where if you see the OR, it makes the sound, like in the word word or world, okay? The OR only made that sound when there was a W in front of it, okay? It only made the sound when there was a W in front of it. Now, we're going to be focusing on OR, where it makes the OR sound, like in fork, okay? And we're going to go over our spelling words that have that same sound, but there's going to be a few different ways on how to spell it, okay? All right, first word is born. Born. Let's all tap it together. B-or-n. Born. Right? There are three sounds in that word, okay, because the OR makes the OR sound. Okay? And this OR, right, is in the middle of the word. Okay, so that's one way to spell the OR sound. So I'm going to write it over here on the side so we can keep track of our different ways to spell OR. Okay? Very good. Number 2 is corn. Corn. Okay, let's tap it. K-or-n. Corn. Very good. Just like born, that one has 3 sounds because the OR is making the OR sound. Right? They don't make separate sounds. They're making one sound together. Okay, number 3. Pork. Everyone say it. Pork. Let's tap it. P-or-k. Pork. Again, 3 sounds, right? Because the OR here makes the OR sound. Okay, and do you see the pattern with these words? Right? The OR sound is in between 2 consonants. Okay? Most of the time, if it's spelled OR, it will be in the middle of the word. There's a few special occasions where that rule doesn't apply, like the word for, right? F-O-R, okay? The OR is at the end of the word there, okay? But in our spelling words, you'll see they're in the middle. It's the middle sound. All right, let's go to number 4. Soar, soar. Let's tap it. S-or, soar. How many sounds are there? Only 2, right? But there's 4 letters. The reason why there's only 2 is because this whole thing, O-A-R, makes the OR sound. We don't hear these sounds individually, right? It makes one whole sound together. And I want to point something out about this word, okay? This word right here is talking about flying. Like, I'll use it in a sentence, right? That bird uses his wings to soar in the sky. Right? To soar over the sky. So it could be used as a word fly. Okay? I want to show you there's another word that's soar. Okay? And it still has that OR sound, but it's spelled differently. Okay? This soar is referring to, you know, let's say you hurt your arm, right? You would say, oh, my arm is sore. Okay? So it's another word for hurt, right? You're in pain. Okay? But this week, our spelling word is soar, talking about, you know, flying, like a bird, you know, will use its wings to soar over the sky. Very good. Okay, so O-A-R is another way to spell the OR sound. Okay, and most of the time it will be at the end of the word, but sometimes it could be in the middle, like the word board. Right? Oops. If you're talking about, like a board game, right? Or you used, this is a white board, right? That is how you spell that word. Okay, let's go on to number 5. Core. Core. Let's tap it. K, or, core. Again, there's only 2 sounds in that word, okay? But this time, the or sound is spelled with O-R-E, okay? And I want to point that out because most times, right, I've taught you guys when there is a vowel and then the E at the end of that word, okay, that E is bossy and it makes the O a long vowel, right? This word would be note, okay? We don't hear the E, but it makes the O a long vowel. But when there's an R, right, when it's O-R-E, okay, it's now going to make the or sound. So this is a special case where the E doesn't make the vowel into a long vowel, but instead, together, those 3 letters make the or sound. It's still silent, you don't hear it, right? But together, it's going to make the or sound, okay? Okay, let's go on to number 6, more. More, okay? All right, let's tap it. Or, more. Very good. Again, only 2 sounds because this word is just like core, right? The or sound is spelled with O-R-E. Okay, so that's why the M is one sound, and then or, O-R-E is one other sound. All right, let's go to number 7. We have the word roar, right? Roar, let's tap it. Or, roar. Good job. This word is just like soar, right? It has the O-A-R to make the or sound. Okay, so there's only 2 sounds in that word. Or, roar. Okay, and that's referring to like if a tiger lets out a really loud noise, right? They would say roar. Okay, all right, number 8, our last one, store. Store. Okay, this word is just like core and more. The or sound is spelled with O-R-E. Okay, let's tap that one. Store. Or, store. Very good. So in that word, even though there's 5 letters, how many sounds are there? S, t, or. There's only 3, right? Because O-R-E makes 1 sound, the or sound. Okay? All right, so those are our spelling words for the week. Make sure you go over them, you practice them all week long, and on Friday you will take your test. Class, to get more practice working on words with the or sound, okay, we are going to be reading a story from our Wonders book. Okay, I'll be reading it here, and then you'll be going on the Wonders app online to read the story on your own. Okay, but first, before I read the story, I want to go over some or words. Okay, and you can read them along while you watch this video. So the letters O-R, O-A-R, and O-R-E can make the sounds you hear at the end of for, roar, and more. Okay, and we just went over that with our spelling words, right? We know there are 3 different ways to write the or sound. Okay, let's go through and read these words. First one is or, born, tore, shorter, store, bored, roaring, war, form, sports, north, before. Okay, if you want to have a little bit more practice reading these words, you can always pause this video so you can see all of the words, and then you can practice tapping them out to make sure you are reading them correctly. Okay, now I'm going to read the sentences on the next page. Morty built a better board for the shore. Okay, so in this sentence, the or words are Morty, board, for, and shore. Okay, do you see how in each one they either have OR, like in the word Morty, they have OAR, like in the word board, okay, or they have ORE, like in the word shore. Okay, next one. Are there some more at the sports store? Okay, the or words here are more, sports, and store. Very good. Okay, and we're going to be reading a story called The Story of a Robot Inventor. And inside this story, there will be or words. These words include story, born, sorts, forms, more, short, for, sports, soar. Very good. Okay, the story I'm going to read is called The Story of a Robot Inventor. Okay, this is a story about someone that invented some robots, okay, that built some robots. All right, so as I read it, make sure you're listening, following along, and as I mentioned, after you watch this video, you will then go back to the Wonders app online and read this story yourself. Okay, first section is called Big Ideas. Meet Tomitaka Takahashi. He invents unusual robots. How did he get started? Mr. Takahashi was born in Japan in 1975. As a child, he played with blocks. He used his imagination to make all sorts of forms and shapes. Later, he read comic books about a robot named Astro Boy. The robot looked like a real child. Takahashi wanted to make robots just like it. I want to point out, right, unusual, okay? That means something different, out of the ordinary, okay? All right, next section is called Finding Out About Robots. In 1999, Takahashi began to study robots. He took classes to learn how they move. The robots bent their legs when they walked. It did not look right to Takahashi. People did not walk that way. Then Takahashi had an idea. He made a better robot. It did not bend its legs when it walked. It moved more like a person. Making better robots. In 2003, Takahashi started his own company. He made many robots. A short robot climbed up a cliff with a rope. A bigger robot lifted a car with its arms. Another robot rode a bike for 24 hours. Takahashi began to put his robots in contests. He made 3 robots for a sports race in Hawaii in 2011. The first robot had to swim. The second robot had to ride a bike. The third robot had to run. The robots had to do these tasks for a week. For the race, there were many problems to solve. Takahashi made the swimming robot waterproof. He gave it arms like fins to help it swim faster. Another robot was able to ride its bike for 100 miles without breaking. The third robot ran for 26 miles. What will Takahashi invent next? Will his robots fly and soar like Astro Boy? Will they be his finest? We can only guess. We must wait and see. Tomitaka Takahashi is sure of one thing. His robots will do more and more. Very cool story, right? And this is a true story. This is a real person, okay? And this was his real career. What he decided to invent were robots, okay? The first thing I want you to do when you go back and reread this story on your own is to think about, okay, what this story is about, right? What he invented, okay, what was the problem he had, right? Looking at the beginning of the story, what was the problem? And how did he decide to solve it, right? What were the steps to his solution? Okay? Then, after you thought about, what the story was about, I want you to go back through and find any or words, okay? Look for any or words. And when you're reading the book online, there is a pen marker that you can use, right? I can't mark up this book because it's a real book. But on the online book, there is a little pen that you can click on and you can circle the or words that you find. Okay, you just then need to click on the check to make sure it saves your words that you found. Okay, you can also use the highlighter button to do the same thing and highlight the words, the or words. Okay, so I'm going to just look at the first page and I'm going to help us find any or words. So I'm going to reread it and then I'm going to find the or words. Meet Tomitaka Takahashi. He invents unusual robots. How did he get started? Mr. Takahashi was born in Japan in 1975. As a child, he played with blocks. He used his imagination to make all sorts of forms and shapes. Okay, so I'm going to look here at each sentence until I find an or word. Okay, now that's not or, right? That's AR, so we know that's the R sound, started. So that doesn't count. Mr. Takahashi was born. There's one, right? That has the or sound. That's even one of our spelling words. So there's one. Born in Japan in 1975. Okay, you keep going. To make all sorts, oh, there's another OR word, right? Makes the or sound, sorts of forms, right? Forms also makes the or sound. Okay, so I found all of the or words on this page, okay? So as I mentioned, on your own, you will go through, read the story, and then go back and look at each page and find any of the or words, okay? All right, have a great day and make sure you're practicing your spelling words. Thank you.